Good afternoon. Welcome to the inaugural Public Safety Town Hall meeting here at our Good Government Radio. We'd like to thank Pat Amelia for inviting us here. My name is James Shea. I'm the Public Safety Director for the City of Jersey City. And here with me today, I have our Police Director, Tawana Moody, and I have Anthony Goodman from her office, who is heavily involved in all of the initiatives we're doing throughout the city. We're looking forward to talking to everybody today and giving you an update on what's going on in Jersey City in the public safety sphere. If anyone doesn't know, I'm responsible for the Jersey City Police Department, the Fire Department, the 911 system, the Office of Emergency Management, and to my eternal regret, parking and traffic, which causes us most of our problems in Jersey City, of course. So, if everybody would bear with me, we like to start most of our meetings just with a moment. I've been here 12 years, and in that 12 years, sadly, we have lost 3 members of our police department in the line of duty: Detective Melvin Santiago, Lieutenant Chris Robitou, and Detective Joseph Seals. And we're a family here, and we want to make sure that their loved ones know that they're not forgotten. So we like to start every meeting just by taking a second and thinking about them and the sacrifice that they made for Jersey City. And while we're doing that, we can also think, everybody knows recently we had a tragedy with a helicopter crash into the Hudson River, and 6 souls were lost in that tragedy also, including the pilot. So we would like to take a second to think of those families also and hope that they're getting through it as best they can, these troubled times for them. All right, with that said, I'll bring everybody up to date a little bit on what we're doing here in Jersey City. So first thing on everybody's mind is always violent crime. And we had a tough start to the year. We had a domestic violence incident where we lost 3 of our neighbors to a member of their own family. And so it was a rough start to the violent part of the year, but we have kind of leveled off. And last year we had a record year in reducing homicides and shootings in Jersey City and shooting victims. And this year, we're thankful to say that after that rough start, we're kind of leveling off, and we are cautiously optimistic that we're going to continue that trend. The trend in the last 12 years since Mayor Fulop took over, we're down 75% in homicides and shootings, leading the nation in violence reduction, and a lot of people around the country starting to look at what we're doing here and copy us. And we plan on keeping that going. On the fire department side, we are successfully increasing the size of the fire department because the city keeps growing. It grows in population, it grows in size, and it grows vertically. It's going higher and higher. You just saw, they just approved another 56-story building for the Journal Square area earlier this month. So we are increasing the size of the fire department. When we got here, Mayor Fulop and I, 12 years ago, we had 19 companies a day. There were about 22, but we really only manned about 19 a day. We're up now to 28 fire companies every single day. And several times this year, when we had the high winds and when there was the problems with the fires in other parts of New Jersey, and obviously the fires out in L.A. made us look twice at what we were doing, we actually made it to 29 fire companies on some days with multiple firefighters on each. So we're pretty happy about what's going on in the fire department. The fire chief there is Jack Johnson. He is a longtime professional, came up through the Jersey City Fire Department, has served at every rank in it, and we're very excited about his leadership there as he continues to try to expand that department so that it can serve the needs of Jersey City as Jersey City gets larger and larger, which we anticipate happening. Over in the police department, I already mentioned that we have we're cautiously optimistic about what we're doing with the violent crime. We're facing some challenges on some of the other crimes, lower level crimes, and it's important to think there's no such thing as a minor crime, because if a crime occurs to you, there's nothing minor about it. And that's our opinion here in the Jersey City Police Department and in the Public Safety Department, that we're going to treat every crime and every crime victim with what they deserve. But some of the lesser serious crimes, larcenies, petty assaults, those kind of things, we're still struggling with. And the reason is because of multiple violators, people who do the same crime over and over again. Since the initiation of the bail reform movement, where people are automatically presumed to be released as soon as they commit a crime until they go to trial for it. It has affected our ability to keep these persistent violators in jail. Now, we're big fans of bail reform here in Jersey City, both in the government and in the police department. Let's get that out of the way right off the bat. There is no way that someone should be in jail only because they can't afford to pay bail and someone else who commits the same offense gets out. That's not right, and something had to be done about it. So we're big fans of what New Jersey did with the bail reform movement and removed that inequity from the system. But there has been the unintended consequence that those persisting criminals who are looking to commit these minor crimes all the time, and it's never important enough that they get locked up for any period of time, but it's enough that it's constantly victimizing our citizens. It's created a challenge for us that we're fighting with right now. The good news on that is that everyone around the state recognizes this challenge, and everybody is working to come up with a solution for it. The political leadership, the judicial system, the prosecutors and the judges, and the police departments all around the state. But in the meantime, we welcome anybody letting us know any information they have about any of these crimes so that we can get out there and address them sooner. Our parking and traffic. As I said before, my eternal regret is that I took over parking and traffic about a year after I got here to Jersey City, because there's no way to make anybody happy. But I'll give you a quick overview, and the quick overview is there's two issues with traffic, of course. And when we start taking calls, we'll want to know which one you want to talk about. The first one is moving traffic. I want to get from point A to point B, and it's hard for me to get there because there's too much traffic in the city. That's one issue. The second issue, when people talk about traffic, is traffic violators. People who are making it unsafe for people out there as they move from point A to point B in the interplay between cars, bicycles, pedestrians, and now the introduction over the last couple of years of the e-bicycles and e-scooters and other things that are all interacting out in our streets and creating quite an environment for us to try to enforce the traffic regulations in. So we'll talk about all of that while we're out there too. In addition, on traffic and on moving traffic, we can touch on why it seems like there's so much construction going on in Jersey City, road construction, and why it is impossible. Seems impossible to go anywhere without having to be rerouted. We'll talk about what we're doing with the MUA to try to get there and why it's necessary to do all that construction at this time. And now we'll take our first break, and when we come back, I'll introduce the police director, and she can add a few words about what's going on. Thank you.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Okay, thank you for coming back with us. My name is James Shea. I'm the Public Safety Director in Jersey City. We're continuing with our first Jersey City Town Hall. Again, thanks to Pat Amelia for giving us an opportunity to reach out to people in this non-traditional way. First thing I want to say is if anybody would like to call in and talk to us, the number is 855-999-0799. I'll say that again. That's 855-999-0799. Now, I am not here alone, and your issues are, of course, most important to us, so please call in if you'd like to get any information on anything. And with me, as I said before, is our police director, Tawana Moody, and Anthony Goodman, a lieutenant from her office, who is a key facilitator of the 911 system, our parking and traffic, And next time we do this, we hope to have Travis Ragland, who is our lieutenant in charge of our parking and traffic unit, but he is unavailable due to a death in the family. Travis, if you're out there somewhere and you can hear us or you're monitoring us, our hearts are with you, and we know that you'll come through this. But concentrate on your family right now, and we'll have you here for the next one. So with that, I'd like to introduce, with me is Tawana Moody. Good afternoon, Tawana.
Good afternoon.
And Tawana is the police director and also the deputy public safety director, because the reward for good work is always more work. So we keep assigning more responsibilities to her. So she's with me here for the first time, and I'd like her to talk about some of what's going on in the police department, but most importantly, the employment opportunities that are happening in the police department and the public safety office right now, because we are looking for Jersey City residents who are looking for careers. And we have several open, and they're very exciting. And everybody knows about police and fire, but we also have other possibilities open to people also. So, Tawana, you want to talk about some of what we have going on?
Yes, so good afternoon. So just really quick for all of you guys that's out there and listening, if you know anyone that's looking for an employment on crossing guards, we always need crossing guards to be able to keep everyone safe, because we here at Public Safety is important to us. If you're looking to be a 911 dispatcher, if you're looking to be a traffic enforcer, I know Director Shea said it's like the deadly part, but it's actually, we still have to make that part of it happen. So we are looking for parking enforcers as well as when public safety comes about. And yes, besides police and fire, there's major opportunities because it plays a big role. So when people call out, we now have a dispatch to our traffic unit as well as a dispatch to our 911, which is completely separate. And we realize that we can answer more calls that way when we have it. Another thing we have going on in public safety right now is we have up-and-coming events that we're going outside and rocking with the seniors, and it's coming up in June. And this is one of the initiatives we have to help bridge the gap between public safety and the community. So our police officers and firefighter, most of our civilians go out, and we just go out to have fun with the seniors. We do that early part of the month where we play bingo, we play Price is Right, you name it, we do it. If you're looking for a good time and you want to get your mom out the house, please bring her to one of our 4 locations. Then when the end of the month comes, for all of those kids that made it to the next grade and all those kids out there, once they had a hard year of school, we try to bring the carnival to all 4 districts. So if you look onto the website, onto the internet, you should see these are the things that we have up and coming. Please come out and help bridge the gap. Please come out with the community so that everybody can know what's going on. And we're out there, many officers, many firefighters, parking enforcers, everyone from public safety, where if you wanted to know more information in person, we're available to have that as well.
All right, Tawana, that's an interesting point you just said. You called it bridging the gap because right now the children are in school, and our job is to keep them safe in school, to get them there safely. You mentioned school crossing guards. We never have enough of those. We're always pleased. If you know anyone who's interested, we're always willing to hire, and we'll help you get the job. But we get them to school. We try to keep them safe there. We work very closely with the Board of Ed.
Yes.
And then the summer comes, and we have a different issue with our children, right? Now they're out in the streets, and we have to keep them out of the traffic. We have to make sure that they don't find mischief while they're out there. So it's a very interesting way to put it, that you have these events to kind of get the children in contact with our police officers, to meet them, to play games with them. I know you have a major basketball tournament at each event.
Yes.
We give prizes to them. There's games they can play. Their families can come. Their families can come to the event. And it is a very... I've watched you do it for the last 5 or 6 years. It's a very successful way to make that segue.
Yes.
From school, the structure of school, to being in the summer, and to reacquaint them with our officers who, I know in your philosophy and the Police Chief Kern's philosophy, our officers are there to keep them safe.
That's right.
And we want those children to understand that. So that's a great event. Now, the senior events,
Yes.
I understand, have exploded over the last couple of years in size, and we now have to make sure people from other cities aren't coming to take advantage. But the mayor's, I remember the governor's wife was
Yes.
here last year
Yes.
observing and made the point that no one else in New Jersey is doing this. So you want to talk a little about what Rocking the Seniors actually is?
So rocking with the seniors. So a lot of times we have so many of these senior buildings, and sometimes people come and visit their family, sometimes they do not. But I think it was very important that our police officers and firefighters, when emergency and they call 911 and they enter into the home, that they now way more familiar. But we take the time out to say, I think we're up to, last year was like 1,200 seniors we seen in 4 days. I think we're up to about 1,600 that's registered right now for our up and coming event. And I think it's important because when people see familiar faces, not just seniors, but also with kids, they're more likely to accept who you are, right? When they need the help, they'll trust you, because I think trust is very important in this day and age in the community.
Oh, I agree 100%. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to remember when you did your first one, Mayor Fulop was your initial speaker, and he talked, we were coming out of COVID, correct?
Yes.
And he talked about how important it was for the seniors who had been cooped up to get
Yes.
outside,
Yeah.
to get human contact again, to reacquaint. And if you think back to that idea of his and
Yes.
yours and moving it into the events it's become today, again, I just hope other parts of the state follow through and also try to do these kind of things.
The other thing, Director Shea, if I can just add, just so you know that once the kids get out of school, we have something called the Park Talk and Walk, where we put police officers on the street because, like Director Shea said, it's hard. So what do our community kids do now once they get out of school and don't have different recreations to do? So what we do now is have the cops that's in the park with them so that they can play safe and they can ride their bikes and they can do what they need to do and not worry about gangs and different things coming out, overcrowding for the little bit of time that they can play. So just know that in this community, once June comes, we put Park Talk and Walk, where cops are in the park where they'll play games and they'll play basketballs with the kids when they're out there if they do.
Okay, and that's great also. We like it. It ties into fighting crime, of course, keeping people out of trouble. The mayor's focus on service with the police department. Moving on. Obviously, there's been huge conversations about policing in the last couple of years in the United States. We've always been part of that here in Jersey City. We've always kept abreast of what's going on in the rest of the country, and I know you have spearheaded several changes in the police department. Going on to that. We're going to be coming into a break soon, but very interested in what you've done in training.
Yes.
Very interested in what you've done in deployment of your police officers. Very interested in how we're reacting to what we see, not just in Jersey City, but also around the whole country. Because we are one country, and what happens in other cities affects us here.
Correct.
So why don't we take a break? And when we come out of the break, we will talk to Director Moody about some of the changes she has made in response to policing around the United States. Okay, and we'll see everybody after the break.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Okay, welcome back. We're here at the Public Safety Town Hall. Once again, I'd like to thank Pat Amelia for giving us this opportunity, because the more ways we can reach people, the happier we are. Director Moody, we were just talking before we took a break about some of the things, the ways you've looked at and tried to respond to what's happened in policing around the United States, the conversation that's gone around policing both locally and nationally, and how we've looked at what's happened in other states and other jurisdictions and tried to react to it. So let's start with the first one. Anytime people talk about policing, the first thing they talk about is training.
Yes.
Are we giving our police officers enough training? Now, I know you didn't just speak to the community, and probably people don't know this, but during that, when this whole conversation started, you also spoke to all the police officers.
Correct.
And you got ideas from them too. So why don't you talk a little about what's come out of those conversations?
So really quickly, again, thank you, Mayor Fuller, for giving me the opportunity back in 2018, coming from the civilian world, to see it from the community standpoint. In doing so, we have been able to hear what the cops, what was concerning to them. Just really quickly, briefly there, where we used to have one officers riding inside of the car, and what they used to explain to me is it's a bit much and a little unsafe for them to do it. So we, since I've been here, it's been a two-man car, because it's very important to hear what it is that the officers are saying to you, so that they can do their job well. So we then had a training center, our de-escalation training center that we have, because before we used to qualify in other cities, but now we have our own de-escalation center. We bring to the community, we bring to the churches, and anybody that's willing to come. We have our active shooter training that we have them to come in, so that you'll be more aware of what to do in an active shooter, what to do with an active shooter training. We have been in churches, and we thank all of the churches that allowed us in. We have been in the colleges, and it helps you to know what to do when emergency comes. Since I've been here, we put together a use of force unit, because I think that was very important, so that someone can just strictly focus on the use of force, what's going on there. As well as the force investigation was one of those that we have, but we made a training bureau, and that's Deputy Chief Daly that runs that for us, where all of our officers are trained through them. They come out of the academy, and then they go through training with them, and then they have it to where they ride with officers so that they can be very well informed before they're just going out there. But I think the huge part is making sure they know the community, being sure about what it is that they should do. So yeah, since I've been here, and another thing that I'm very proud that we at Public Safety was able to do, we have over 1,000 cameras that's up, whereas before people don't like to come forward, don't want to be involved because they think it's going to cause problems to them. But us having over 1,000 cameras throughout the city really helps us with doing it. Our officers, where folks said this is the way it went, and then that happened and this happened. That was eliminated when we put out our body-worn camera, where every officer that's out on the street wears body-worn camera. If they're not with a body-worn camera, they cannot be on duty, because it's very important, because anything can happen. So there's always a story, but then you would have that body-worn camera. At first, it was an issue for the officers, but now they know that these things are definitely their best friends. And I think that's throughout the country and throughout police and everywhere, because it's very hard to recruit everywhere right now. Our number was close to almost 900 and something, and I think we had 818. But recruitment is just tough. It's not just here in Jersey City, but if anyone out there want to be a police officer, please reach out to us if you're not sure when the test is there. And you can reach us at 201-547-5301 so that we can help you in the study groups that they put together to become a police officer, because it's nothing more than to have people that's born and raised here and live here to help protect your seniors and your kids and your community.
Okay, that was, you did a lot there, so I'm going to unpack a little of it, but make sure you get credit for some of what you accomplished. So we'll start with something that's a hot topic in the United States around policing, body-worn cameras. Mm-hmm. So I know a lot of departments jumped to body-worn cameras and bought them, provided them for their officers, but I also know something you did differently is you, in addition to mandating that they wear them, you guaranteed that they wouldn't have to go on patrol
Correct.
If we didn't provide them with a functional
Correct.
body-worn camera.
Mm-hmm.
And that's different from what a lot of other jurisdictions did. And your reason for that was to show the officers that it's to protect them.
Correct.
Yeah, as well as when they got that feeling like we don't have to go out there without a body-worn camera, it kind of made them understand that this isn't to monitor me, this is to protect me. This is to capture what happens so that there's no misunderstanding. So kudos for that one. The camera system, the closed-circuit TV camera system that now goes, I know we inherited a terrible one, and I spent 5 years trying to fix it, so I'm going to have to spend a minute on how you accomplished it after I failed. But I spent 5 years trying to fix the systems we inherited, and instead you came in and just you rebuilt the entire system with a different company. And you touched on it, but that does relieve the community members of like excessive contact with the police. Because we can see what happened and we can investigate without having to go out into the community, which, let's be honest, there are certain communities, there's still a lot of distrust of the police. And nationally around the United States, I've been in policing since 1991. I will say that around the United States, there is no community in the United States that is eager to come in and cooperate with the police against fellow members of their own community, even if they're not happy with the behavior.
Right.
Because that's just something that we grow up learning not to do. You know, don't be a tattletale. Don't be this. So it's about, I'm just being honest. It makes it difficult for community members, especially when they've, another thing, if you've watched someone grow up and you know them since they were a little child, even if they're doing something you don't approve of, you see the whole person. And you sometimes find it difficult to really cause something bad to that person. So the camera system relieves the community of that responsibility. And we actually are able to go to the judges and the prosecutors with that. Also, I know one time when, God forbid, we had a police-involved shooting where thankfully everybody came out okay on the back end. The CCTV camera was integral in capturing what happened so we can tell the community what happened. So there's another benefit. I love the cameras. I love the camera system that you've built because it keeps us all honest. It keeps us all like what the community now knows there is camera systems out there. If something happens, we're going to want to see what happened. And being able to provide that to them, I think, is a huge benefit in police-community relations. We're going to take a break soon, but I just want to touch again on your training bureau. So Jersey City always had training, but it wasn't formalized previously. And by creating a training bureau kind of lets the cops know, because weren't the police officers also demanding more training in addition to the community?
Yes, and I think just to touch on that with training, what helps us with the body-worn camera, just to piggyback on the body-worn camera again, if we, when force units is looking at the camera and we see anything that we think the officer can do better at, it helps us to increase training. It helps them to be better. Sometimes they just go through the camera system so we can see how to be better at things. So I think that the body-worn camera, for anybody that was of question, did it cost us a lot of money? It did, but we did them in like sections that we went and did it. But it's important too because you keep the community and their accountability there, but then you help the cops also to know, I can be better at this. Having your own training bureau actually helps you because then you don't have to pay for that to be an outside thing. You have Chief Dale and his whole team that's out there, and we now have a de-escalation training to help you to be better. We allow our officers to say, hey, I think I need more training about this, and I'm not sure. So no one's perfect out there, but they can only be better, and that's where you, the community, can help us. That if you feel like you know something, it's not about, trying to get somebody in trouble. Just help us to continue to be better with you guys out there in the community because we all are a team at this thing. We're not against each other.
Okay, that's great. I'd like to talk about it more, but I think we need to take a break now. We'll return after these few brief messages, and I'm not going to avoid the lines then. We'll talk a little about traffic and parking, and we'll talk with Anthony Goodman, our lieutenant, about those issues when we return. Thank you.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Okay, we're back here at the Public Safety Town Hall. I'm Public Safety Director James Shea. With me is the Police Director Tawana Moody and Anthony Goodman from her office, who is here to help answer questions about the 911 system, the traffic, and what we're planning to do with all these issues. Our phone number to call in if you have any questions for us is 855-999-0799. That's 855-999-0799. Now, Tawana, I can't say how interesting. I'd like to talk about training and what you've done with the police department to address issues. I think the idea that looking at the body camera footage and looking for ways we can improve is very interesting, and there's a lot of departments that could benefit from that. But I promised I would not avoid the lion's den, so we will talk a little. So Lieutenant Anthony Goodman is here, and he's standing in because he is one of the supervisors of our parking and traffic unit. Now, parking and traffic, we combined them a couple years ago. We realized that we had school crossing guards, we had parking officers, we had officers doing traffic enforcement, we had officers doing traffic investigations. So we combined it all to try to work together on what's going on in Jersey City and, one, keep traffic moving, but more importantly, keep everybody safe. Now, it's one of the big issues that people complain about in Jersey City. So we'll introduce Anthony Goodman, who is one of our lieutenants. Travis Ragland is the other one, who's one of our lieutenants who oversees this unit. Tony, you want to say a few words about what you think about parking and traffic here in Jersey City, and then I'll kick in with some questions?
Yes, sir. So, we're a pretty large city, second largest in the state, approaching the largest. So traffic has boomed in the last couple of years. The city has brought in a lot of new people, bringing new cars, bringing a lot of traffic problems, which we're trying to manage right now with constant enforcement. We have about 70 people in parking. We run almost 24 hours. We have people assigned to different tasks in the traffic and parking unit. Like the director say, you have your moving traffic, which is almost a nightmare sometimes in Jersey City, trying to get from one end to the other. But the parking, we have people dedicated to street cleaning. We have people dedicated to answering complaints like blocked driveways, handicap spots, things like that. We have walking posts that handle the metered sections of the city that move traffic that is blocking intersections and things like that. We also have a booting department that goes out and handles our scofflaws. So we're working on it. It's a constant problem that we're addressing.
Okay, thanks, Tony, for the overview. I'm going to bring up a couple questions that I know people ask you, me, Director Moody, and Travis pretty frequently. There's been issues in Jersey City for traffic forever.
Yes.
You alluded to the fact that we're an old city, but a huge city.
Yes.
And we are on streets that were designed for horses and buggies in some cases. I know from running the fire department, we sometimes have to custom order fire trucks that can fit into the small streets. New York City has the same issue in its lower Manhattan, where the streets were designed for horses and buggies and now have major traffic on it. In our case, sometimes tractor trailers.
Yes.
Now moving down through the thing. Different complaints we get, and we'll talk about some of them and then open up. I'm sure people will be calling in with some of these, but different complaints we get. One is, you alluded to it, the scofflaws.
Yes.
The people who seemed in Jersey City like they could just do whatever they feel like
Yes, sir.
as far as parking, as far as anything else. And you mentioned that you just started a booting unit,
Correct.
and that's to directly affect
Yes.
the scofflaw issue. And why don't we warn everybody, like, how do you get your car booted? Like, what kind of bad behavior will it take for you to come out and suddenly find a boot on your car or your car towed away, God forbid?
So we boot cars that receive numerous tickets and fail to pay them. Once you fail to pay them and you reach a certain amount, you now are subject to being booted.
And thank you for not saying that amount, because we don't want to warn everybody like, oh, you can do this much without getting booted. So let's, so everybody out there, just know that even if you get tickets, if you pay them, you will not come out and find your car immobilized by one of Lieutenant Goodman or Lieutenant Ragland's booting unit. But that's a pretty recent innovation, and we only did that because of all the scofflaws.
Correct. We had thousands and thousands of dollars that weren't collected off of summonses that we're getting for illegal parking.
Yep.
So with this, the booting unit has been very successful at finding cars that are not paying, or finding owners of cars that are not paying their tickets. We put a boot on it. We leave it on there for 48 hours. We give the owner a chance to come in and pay to get the boot taken off. If the owner does not come in, then we tow it and it goes to the impound and it stays there until the owner pays.
Okay, and takes the car. Now, another part of traffic that makes everybody crazy in Jersey City, and you alluded to it, saying it affects you, the difficulty getting around sometimes.
Yes.
And the biggest issue there, I think we can all agree, is the construction and street closures.
Correct.
And that is a direct result of, I will use the word, kind of decaying infrastructure, is it not?
Correct. Jersey City is a very old city, so what it was originally built for now has to be improved.
And there's no way around that.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, if the people can understand that, we feel the same frustration. But if you can imagine, as I mentioned before, they just 56-story building going up where there used to be 4 two-family houses.
Right.
And the stress that puts on the water supply, on the sewer supply, on the power, and all that has to be dealt with so that we can make sure that we can deliver those services. And then there's emergency work.
Yes.
There's emergent work, and all of that has to be done. Okay, we're going to take another break. We're going to return after these messages. I'm going to give you the phone number one more time, 855-999-0799, because while I find all of this interesting, I'm much more interested in what you would like to talk to us about if you get an opportunity. So I guess we'll take some questions after these messages.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Okay, welcome back here. We are at the Public Safety Town Hall. I'm James Shea. I'm the Public Safety Director for Jersey City. With me is the Police Director, Tawana Moody, and Lieutenant Anthony Goodman from the Police Chief's Office, who, among many other assignments, because as I said earlier, the reward for good work is always more work, but among many others, he is a kind of keeping an eye for us on the traffic and parking division that has been created and the 911 system. I'll talk a little about our 911 system now because it is a popular topic here in Jersey City. We run our own 911 emergency response system for police, fire, and we take the initial calls and pass them to the medical center for medical calls. Obviously, those calls can sometimes be the same thing. You might need a fire response, a police response, and an ambulance at the same location. We handle it all. We're kind of a one-stop shop on that. We also have a non-emergency number that people can reach out to for non-emergencies. Important to notice that if we are getting a high volume of emergency calls, sometimes that non-emergency number can go unanswered. So if something is an emergency or is happening right now, or you think somebody's safety is endangered, or you're uncomfortable with something occurring, you always call the emergency number. You always let us know at 911. We'll make the decision on how important that call is based on the resources we have available. And you should never be embarrassed or unsure about reaching out to us at 911 and telling us what your issues are so that we can respond. Now, Director Moody mentioned before that our 911 system is a place that we're expanding as the city gets bigger. We're trying to hire more operators. So please, anyone who's interested in a career in public safety, you can work for Jersey City. You have a great job, good salary and benefits, and opportunities to advance and get promoted to other jobs. Please reach out to us and we will get you an application and help you apply for a job in there. Our backup system, so people understand, is in Newark. And we are it's the county and then Newark. And we are the backup system for the county and for Newark. So if things happen there, we have to do that. It's called mutual aid, and we help each other out with it all the time. We are moving our 911 system successfully to our new public safety building. Consequently, we are going to be upgrading the equipment. If you follow the city council, you may see that we've recently had approved a bonding so that we can buy all new equipment for the 911 system. Our current system was last upgraded in 2005. And just think of how technology has changed. If you just look at the phone you're using, think of how it's changed from 2005 to 2025. So while the system was built robustly and we were able to make it to 2025, we're excited about the fact that we're going to get an opportunity to move forward and fix all that technology and try to make our service to you even better. I will tell you a couple things about 911. We get complaints that people call 911 and nobody answers. First thing, every call to 911 will be answered or we will return the call. It's answered during a state standard within a certain number of rings. We meet that state standard. The state audits us all the time to ensure that we're meeting that standard. So why would people think that they're calling and not answering? Well, a couple reasons. Maybe it happens. If you think it really happened, you call us and let us know, and we will do a full investigation. Every call to 911, every attempt is taped. It's impossible for someone to attempt to call 911 and for us not to answer without there being a taped record of that event. So we can investigate, see if we dropped the ball on something, and we can make sure that we show you how we'll fix it and it won't happen again. Secondly, think about the changes in phone technology over the last 20 years. In the 90s, if a crime occurred, people would have to find a phone booth to call, a working phone booth, which in some neighborhoods is a challenge. People would have to find a phone booth and would have to have change and would have to try to call 911 and would have to figure out how to call. So we'd get one call, usually 5-10 minutes after the event happened. We'd get a call to 911 that an occurrence happened. Now, if something happens, everyone within sight and sound has a cell phone on them. So now we instantly get 30, 40 calls sometimes if it's a serious thing like shots fired or, God forbid, a helicopter crash into the Hudson River. We get 30, 40, 100 calls immediately. We don't have 30, 40, 100 operators, so the system can be flooded. But you can be sure that they're watching and they're noticing that all the other calls are the same call. The location is they can tell the location of the callers and they know it's all the same thing. And we will eventually get back to everyone and let them know that the incident has occurred. Secondly, when we do our investigations, what we sometimes find, and this is very understandable and does not surprise us, is that most people, if they witness something traumatic, time seems to slow down for them. So they will tell us, oh, I tried to call for 5 minutes. If you want to take your phone out and let it ring for 5 minutes, you'll see how probably that is not the point. But it seems like it at the time, because you see somebody who's been harmed, or you see somebody who you think might be in danger, and you want to get somebody to help them as soon as possible. So if you call and if no one answers within 2 or 3 rings, to you it seems like it's rang for 100 times. We understand all of that. That's why we do our callbacks. If you try for 3 times and you hang up, we sometimes get people who'll try to call us, hang up after the second ring, and call a friend and say, what do you think I should do? I just saw something that I think is suspicious. A man following a woman down the street. What should I do? They will get a call back from us, because the fact that they attempted to call us, we will reinitiate a call as soon as we can. So the important thing to take out of this is, if you think you were poorly served by an attempt to reach us at the 911 system or the non-emergency number, reach out to us so that we can do an investigation and let you know the results of that investigation. It's the least you're entitled to. Let you know the results so you can either have confidence in our system or confidence that we're fixing the issue that you exposed. Okay, Tony, anything you'd like to add to that? I know you do a lot of these investigations.
Yes, that is correct. Investigate any complaint that a citizen might have with a call taker, dispatcher, what have you. Let me start by just saying I believe we have one of the best communication centers in the country. To see our people in action when an emergency really comes down is really amazing. For example, the helicopter crash that just happened a couple of weeks ago. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scene that happens in that call centers. From the call taker taking that call and being calm, to the dispatcher knowing the severity of that call and staying calm and sending our emergency response team out there. It's really a work of art.
Yeah, and I do know, since you mentioned it, before we take our next break, I will say that we will not talk about the investigation of that helicopter crash, because it's still an open investigation.
Correct.
By the federal government, their people. But I do remember them commenting on the professionalism of the 911 system and how pleasantly surprised they were when they did their initial review. Let's hope that when they do their final review, they remain as impressed with our people. So now we're going to take another break. We will return after these messages. The call-in number is 855-999-0799. Thank you for staying with us, and we'll talk to you after these messages.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Okay, welcome back to the Public Safety Town Hall, our inaugural one here, if anybody's listening. Again, I thank you to Pat Amelia for allowing us. We're always looking for more ways to get out to the community, to give you a chance to get to us, more important. So thank you for allowing us this opportunity. With me is Police Director Tawana Moody and Lieutenant Anthony Goodman, who we're going to continue talking. Tony, you brought up some interesting things about your 911 system. You talked about how people don't see what's going on behind the scenes, and you kind of touched on the initial callers. When the initial caller is talking to someone in crisis.
Yes.
And I know we do training. I know there's state-mandated training, but I think it's very interesting that when Director Moody initiated her de-escalation training, you included our 911 operators, and you also have them trained?
Correct.
In de-escalation techniques. Could you talk about that for a moment?
Absolutely. Director Moody felt it was important to have our call takers and dispatchers trained in de-escalation, affliction, because they're talking to the person in crisis. So we wanted those people to be able to talk calmly with the citizen and be able to calm them down to get the important facts of what the emergency is.
Oh, I think that's very interesting because it ties into, we sometimes say among ourselves, and citizens would know this, that while we're called the first responders, we're really the second responders.
Yes.
Because the citizens on the scene are the first responders.
Yes.
God forbid the victim, the witnesses, the people that happened. They're the first people they're trying. And when we arrive, they're usually trying to help
Yes.
the victims already. And our dispatchers and call takers probably don't get enough credit for being in that kind of middle area where they're really, before we even get there, dealing with people in crisis and people that are having crises out in the street. And they have to deal with that themselves over the phone. They can't even see what they're doing. They're relying, and they have to get that information then to our police, fire, and ambulance to go and help.
Yes, they're trying to get important information from a person who's very excited at the time and maybe can't get that information out, and they have to pull it out of them.
Yeah, and the additional training and de-escalation, how do they like it?
They love it. It's the first that they've had. They are always willing for more training.
Okay, excellent. Now I'm going to mention a success story quick, and then I'm going to talk about bike lanes. But I can't pass this without talking about recently. I'm going to talk to both of you, Director Moody and Lieutenant Goodman. Over the weekend, we had a gentleman that went up onto a bridge
Yes.
and decided that he was going to end his life. And he called our dispatch, right? Or he called into, or someone called and
Yes.
saw him.
Yes, a passerby called in.
So we can imagine, again, continuing with that theme of while we're the first responders, there are people there before us with no training that are trying to deal with this, and we understand that. So a passerby just saw somebody that they thought was going to jump, and in reality, that's what the man intended to do.
Yes.
Correct. That's what he intended.
And we have a happy ending here.
Yes.
I wouldn't shy away from the story, but between our dispatchers being able to figure out the location just from someone driving by
Yes.
was it on the
Pulaski.
the Pulaski Skyway? So imagine trying to nail down exactly where on the Pulaski Skyway this person is jumping or climbing down, planning to jump into the water. Between our call takers, our dispatchers, and the police, and especially one of our police officers, we had a pretty dramatic rescue.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
The officer rappelled down and was able to save the individual before he actually jumped.
Yeah, and that's one of our emergency service officers.
Yes.
Which officer?
Don't-
We're not going to give? Okay, but we'll talk about that in a future one. I know I will explain to our listeners, they like to get the officer's permission before they mention his name on the air. But I'm sure he won't mind being recognized as someone who did a Spider-Man crawl down the side of a
Yes.
bridge tied to a rope in the middle of the night and saved somebody who was trying to end their own life. And I managed to talk him into coming out.
Yes.
Successful ending for a unit, our emergency service unit that we'll talk about in the future, that handles a lot of hairy situations,
Yes.
and we're very proud of them.
Director Shea, really
yes.
quick, I'm sorry. I just want the listeners out there to know as well is that our parking, our traffic, I know they think it's a nightmare. Those guys was also trained on de-escalation. They was also the traffic enforcers wear body-worn cameras as well. It's very important for people to know that because when they give you the ticket, their body-worn camera is on showing where the offense took place at. So our traffic enforcers has been cross-trained, not just for crossing, but they wear body-worn cameras, and everyone in public safety is trained. So what the 911 dispatchers have, so did the traffic enforcers as well. I just wanted to let them know.
That's excellent. And since she brought up traffic, Tony, we will continue on with a hot topic here in Jersey City, bike lanes.
Yes.
Bike lanes. I am, people don't like it. I am on record as saying I don't like bike lanes. That's my personal opinion as a citizen in Jersey City. I grew up in Queens. We rode bicycles all the time, and we never needed lanes. We just managed to make it wherever we were going. I do understand the increased traffic. You alluded to it before. The city getting bigger, the city getting denser, the city getting more populated, the new types of transportation that, to be fair, I didn't deal with back then. E-bikes, e-scooters, the mini bikes, all of that thing. The interplay between cars, bikes, and pedestrians seems to be getting way more complicated.
Yes, because the volume of cars or vehicles in the city, volume of people, it helps the rider itself.
All right, so the bike lanes. The city is behind them. We, of course, I'm fond of saying in police and fire, we police, and we provide fire protection to the environment that the elected officials create.
Correct.
We don't make value judgments on that. I don't say whether, like, I can kid around and tell people I don't like bike lanes, but the bottom line is, if the bike lanes are there, we are going to enforce the law to make sure. So I know we get a lot of complaints about people blocking bike lanes.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
We enforce it. People call in a complaint, we go and we enforce the complaint. We don't have our personal opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay, because I know the people who utilize the bike lanes and the bicyclists, that's very important to them. They feel that if the bike lane is blocked, if the bike lane's blocked, they're forced back into traffic or they're forced to endanger pedestrians.
Correct.
And to be fair, they have a point. If we're going to have bike lanes, we should have bike lanes.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
Okay, everybody, that's from the anti-bike lane guy that you all like to talk about when I'm against them. But be advised that is the police department's feeling on this. Call us if you see someone block. We understand people block bike lanes. We understand the temptation when you're dropping off a child or something like that to do it. But if you see a car blocking a bike lane, call us so we can get out there, we can address it, we can issue the appropriate summonses to keep it going. Bike lanes are a part of the city, and they are going to remain a part of the city. And I know from seeing the city's plans that they're just going to increase. So we have to get on with this. Tony, what do you think about people using e-bikes in the bike lanes? You're getting a lot of questions here because you're a traffic expert, Tony. Next time we'll bring Travis and we'll put it in.
Yes, it is posing a problem for e-bikes in the bike lanes. It's meant for bicyclists, not e-bikes.
Okay, thanks. So listen, e-bike riders, we understand. Could you do us a favor before we have to do enforcement? Could you stay out of those bike lanes? Because if you continue to violate that, we will have to address it. And we would always prefer to get what we call voluntary compliance. Okay, I think we've used up all our time. I want to thank anybody who might have came in and listened to us. I want to thank Director Moody for being willing to come here, Lieutenant Anthony Goodman for being willing to come and answer questions. This was really an experimental thing because we're always pushing to find new ways to talk to you. I would like to thank Pat Amelia one more time for giving us this opportunity. And if it works, we'll be happy to be back here in the future. Finally, as I opened, I always ask people at meetings, please remember our fallen detectives and members of the service who, during my time here, my 12 years, have given their lives to protect the people in Jersey City. Detective Melvin Santiago, Lieutenant Chris Roberto, and Detective Joseph Seals. They're part of our family. They'll always be part of our family, and we'll always begin and end mentioning them. Thank you all who might have been listening, and I look forward to talking to you again. Tawana, Tony, thank you for being willing to come in.
Thank you.